Welcome back to Teresa's Dead. My name is Theresa and I'm very much alive. Or am I? No, I am. I have an awful garbage filthy mouth, so viewer discretion is advised. But if you're not into that or weird shit in general, this is definitely not the place for you, Cupcake. Feel free to X out the video here. No harm, no foul. But I'll remember our time fondly. Oh, hello pumpkins. We are in for a treat today. Listen, I'm known for making some clown purchases, okay? And this was a clown purchase. Call me Ronald motherfucking McDonald because this shit's ridiculous. KYLIE Cosmetics came out with a weird, but kind of interesting, but also kind of really bizarre collaboration with Nightmare on Elm Street. As someone who is clearly obsessed with horror, hence my namesake, I had to get this. Why? First, Nightmare on Elm Street is one of my favorite horror franchises. I love them all, except for number 6. Number 6 is not that good. Actually, that one part with the map is probably the best part, number 6. 2, I like to waste money so you don't have to. Some say I do the Lord's work. Just saying. So in this collection, I did get the full collection minus the lashes because I don't fuck with lashes. It's just not my thing. Plus, I heard they were like individual lashes or something. Sounds horrifying. So what we're going to talk about today is the eyeshadow palette, the lip products, as well as the cheek and lip stain, which, spoiler alert, bitch, it's still on my arm. I don't know if you could see that. She's still there. She is still here. It's been days. Let's talk about the palette first. A Nightmare on Elm Street palette retails for $30. A limited edition Nightmare on Elm Street pressed powder palette contains 12 shades and 3 finishes. Matte, metallic, and glitter. This Halloween-inspired color story features soft, easy-to-blend formulas that deliver a highly pigmented color payoff. So for $30, this is pretty fucking adorable, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not mad at it. I think the packaging is really adorable. When you open the palette up, you get this lovely full-size mirror here that just pretty much says KYLIE X Nightmare on Elm Street, and you get this little color story. I also really like the layout in the palette as well. I don't know, I love that like kind of gross blood splatter effect. Like, it's really well done. And you know, that said, like the color story, I'm not mad at it. I see what they're going with, but also it's a little bit weird at the same time. Like the pink is reminiscent to like his little flesh pustule, so like I get the pink and kind of like the beigey colors, like I get that. You have like the red and the green obviously for his fucking sweater, which of course I have to wear for this video. I'm that bitch. But then you kind of have like these neutral moments, and then you have like this Christmas moment down here. I don't know. It's kind of like they didn't want to fully commit to the idea of Nightmare on Elm Street because they know deep down that neutral palettes sell more. So it was just like, all right, we're just going to sprinkle in a little bit where we're going to keep this primarily neutral. That's kind of the feel I get about the palette. That said, let's break it down by shade, starting with the top row here, and this is Face Your Fears. Ooh. And it's an eggshell matte. It's pretty much the color of my skin tone. So for me, how I utilize this shade is not only to make like a matte inner corner highlight, which I was able to do, but it just required a lot of building up. But I use this shade primarily to kind of diffuse any sort of harsh lines. And for the most part it worked, but sometimes it didn't. It's an okay shade. The shade next to that is Elm Street. And this is a white gold metallic shade, probably my favorite shade in the whole palette. I didn't experience any fallout with this shade. And when applied with glitter glue, I didn't have any weird texture issues. This had great longevity, and I loved using it as an inner corner shade as well. Alive But Dead is a cool brown matte, and this is the shade that I use primarily as my crease shade. And it has like okay pigment. A lot of the shadows in this palette, they're not very impactful upon like first initial application. You have to build them up. The formula is very, very dry, and actually if you even swatch them, they feel awful. On the eye, it just takes a little bit more hand holding, and so for this one I had to use a little bit of product just to build it up. So while it's not my favorite formula, I was able to make it work. It just required a little bit of hand holding. The next shade is I'll Be Your Nightmare, which is a bronze glitter. I personally wouldn't call this a glitter. It's weird because I could kind of see what they're talking about because there are some glitter reflect in it, but for the most part I would just kind of consider this like a chunky metallic shade. But the fallout is fucking awful. Regardless if you use glitter glue or not, you're fucked. Oh, that's funny. Just remembered part 6. Full circle moment, okay. I first tried to use this with the dry brush. That was a big mistake. It like literally just fucking rained beef and cheese Taco Bell crumbles all over my face. So then when I tried it again, still it rained all hell, but it wasn't as bad as say using a dry brush. That said, when you do have it on the eye, you know, it's not bad. Like there is a little bit of a texture to it that I can, I guess, kind of understand why they're calling it a glitter. But there's another glitter in this palette, and that one is disgusting. Disgusting. This one was far better, but like, it was okay. Like, not my favorite metallic formula, but I was able to make it work. Now, starting with the second row, we have Stay Up Late. And this is described as a peach gold metallic. And this operated very, very similarly to Elm Street, and I really like this one a lot. It did adhere nicely to a brush, but the difference between this one and Elm Street is that this one was really, really powdery. However, I didn't experience any sort of like glitter bukkake or just fallout. So like, yes, it's powdery, but it still adheres very nicely to a brush. It had good longevity, and it's, you know, kind of one of those metallics where you can combine it with something else and it's not gonna have like that weird wrinkly like labia sac texture. Like, we're not gonna have that here, folks, which is very good. And I didn't experience any fading with the shade, so we love that. He's Coming is a peach beige matte. And this is very similar to Alive But Dead. This is another shade that I just primarily used in the crease. Again, I needed to build it up to have a stronger opacity, but once I did, it was fine. But overall, it's a boring basic bitch shade. Like, I don't know, there wasn't like anything fucking fantastic about it. It was fine. Now the next shade is Come to Freddy, and that's a rose pink metallic shade. I don't know why they call this a metallic finish. If anything, it should be called a rose pink satin shade with a sandpaper finish. This shade will cut a bitch, okay? No joke, okay? If I was commuting into the city like the good old days, I would take the shade out of the pan, and if anyone came close to me, I would cut them, okay? Because that's how sharp this shade is. Texturally, it feels awful, awful. I hate everything about it. I'm actually surprised I have fingerprints, okay? That's how bad it is. And to get any sort of payoff, you really need to layer the fuck out of this shade, which is surprising because the other metallics were fine. So I don't know, like, there's definitely a quality difference amongst them. They need to get their shit together. So once I layered the shit out of it, it was just okay. I truly wish this was a real metallic red shade, not whatever the fuck this is. And there's also light staining with this shade. And out of all the shades in this palette, that was the one that kind of really just gave me a lot of issue. But the staining though, I hate when pinks stain, or like reds and pinks, because for at least a couple of days it looks like somebody farted on my pillow. Like, that's the caliber of staining we're talking about here, kids, okay? Not good. Anyway, if you do get this, good luck with the pink eye, all right? Just saying. The next shade is Dream Demon, and this is a dark burgundy matte. For a matte shade, again, I keep echoing this, but this is a very, very dry formula, and it takes quite a bit of product just to have an opacity. There was a little bit of fallout, but overall pretty easy to clean. It actually worked better if you were layering it on top of other things, even though it looks so rich in pan, just it's not as rich on the eye. Like, you really need to kind of layer it over something for it to kind of get that true deep burgundy color. Again, like, I really cannot reiterate, this is not my favorite formula, not by a long shot, but I got it to work eventually. Just took a lot of extra jerking off and hand holding, but here we are. Okay, and starting with the last row, we have Don't Fall Asleep, which is a dusty rose matte, and this one was fine. I think when it comes to the lighter shades, yes, well, you do have to like build up to have a stronger opacity. They're a lot easier to work with than the darker mattes. The darker mattes take even more time building up. You really need to layer it on other darker shades for it to really just have a moment, because on its own, it kind of looks patchy. Like, it's not fun. But when it comes to the lighter shades, just kind of thinking about my experience with the darker mattes, it's so much easier to work with, but still it's a lot of hand holding. So kind of keep in mind, this is the kind of formula that you need a lot of patience when you're blending. I personally like shades that like literally do the work for you because I'm a fucking lazy bitch. But so this one, I was like, oh my God, my hand hurts from the constant blending and layering because this shit took forever. Fucking forever. As a crease shade, it was fine. Had good longevity. It blended very well with the other lighter mattes, so we're okay. Now the next shade is Springwood High, and this is a red glitter, and this is fucking disgusting. I don't like pressed glitters. I usually tell pressed glitters to fuck off. They're usually garbage, but this one actually takes the cake. I thought the one metallic that felt like sandpaper was bad. I was wrong. When I swatched this shade, it felt like I was taking a Dell butter knife and just scraping my skin. Terrible. It is not fucking pleasant. I don't know who quality checked this shit, but they should be fired. Like, it's fucking bad. God forbid you get this in your fucking eye. You are so fucked. You might as well get a bedazzled eye patch and a parrot because you're a fucking pirate, bitch. And there ain't no coming back from it. Arr. The next shade is Bad Dream, and this is described as a bold red matte. Surprisingly, this one didn't stain. I really was like, this is the one that's gonna give me pink eye. No, it didn't. It was actually fine. And honestly, compared to the darker mattes, this is probably the best darker matte, and not by much. It was actually decently pigmented upon initial application, but it comes off more pink than red, which I hate when reds do that. Like, I want a true red and not a red that leans pink, and that's kind of what this is. That said, it had decent longevity. There was no fallout. And while you do still need to build it up a little bit, this was definitely the shade that was the most pigmented out of the bunch. And last but not least, we have Gonna Get You, which is a dark forest green matte. Fuck, bitch. Fuck. This shade actually almost broke me. Almost broke me. This shade right here, this fucking green shade, almost broke me. It's just so patchy, like so patchy. There's so much promise in pan because I think they did a really good job with kind of the color combinations in a way, but oh my God, bitch. When you get it on the lid initially, it's like, nothing. Like, it's really like, what the fuck did I put on my face? What did I put on my face? You're confused. You need to use at least half the pan to get any pigment. And then that's when you notice how patchy it is. So you kind of have to use the other darker mattes just to cover up how patchy it is. So when I combined the shade with Dream Demon, it was a lot better. That said, this dark forest green operates very much like a charcoal black. It's magic. I don't know what to tell you. It's weird. But the shade broke me because the amount of jerking off I had to do just to get it to work, I thought I was gonna get carpal tunnel. And you're like, it was bad. I was like, oh, I should get a brace for this. Like, I was like, fuck. Like, it really fucking hurt. But here's the thing though. Ironically enough, the look I created using the shade is probably one of my favorite looks I've ever created. And I don't think I could ever do it again. Like, it's impossible to replicate. I don't think I can. So listen, for $30, I have so many emotions about this palette. On one hand, it's like, it's borderline okay. Like, it's really not that bad. It's workable. On the other hand, for the price point, this is fucking highway robbery. There are drugstore palettes that can run circles around the formula and quality of this palette, you know what I mean? And charge a fraction of the price. But that said, I love every look I created with this palette. So it's like, while I went on this journey of like literally blood, sweat, and tears, I loved every look I created. I know, I don't fucking understand it either. But with that said, you know, the one look that I really enjoyed, I don't think I could ever replicate it again because it legitimately took like 25 minutes. And I'm so glad that I got it on film because I don't think anyone would believe me. And I know you're probably saying like, bitch, it really wasn't that special. Like, don't toot your own horn. And you know, maybe you're right, Stacey. Maybe you're right. But I think for what I created, it had like this really fun, like dark green, dark red, like white moment. I felt like when looking at that, you think of Freddy Krueger. Like, that was the first thing I thought of when I was done with it. I was like, that's a really cool representation of Freddy Krueger. That said, this palette fucking almost broke me. As a mere makeup enthusiast, this was such a pain in the ass to use. Like, a handful of the shades were fine, like they were okay. Again, not my favorite type of formula, but I was able to make it work. But I personally don't think like the journey to get there is worth that price tag. Now, I don't have a lot of experience with KYLIE products, so I don't know if this is the norm. And if it is, fuck, like, no. I know a lot of people call it overpriced ColourPop, but if they are basing it off this quality, that is an insult to ColourPop. Like, ColourPop at least is easy to use. This, not so much. So yeah, like, I'm torn. Like, I hated every second while doing it, but when I was done, I'm like, oh, I like it. So I don't know. I mean, if you were interested in picking this up, I wouldn't. I would say you should probably try to dupe this out in your own collection because the shades, they're not that unique. Like, the color story is really not that unique. Like I said, they half committed to Nightmare on Elm Street and then they made the rest of it a Christmas palette. So it's like, you have this in your collection. So if you really want something like this, dupe it out and shit, you could probably do a better fucking job at the color story. But hey, if you do want it, it's 30 bucks. That's on you. In hindsight, am I mad that I picked this up? I mean, yes and no. Like, yes, because it really took a journey, but no, because it's kind of fucking adorable. I don't know, like, I'm being a real Libra today, okay? I'm kind of like, I don't know. Don't buy it, just dupe it out of your own collection. Let's move on to the next product. A Nightmare on Elm Street Lip and Cheek Jelly Stain retails for $17. This Lip and Cheek Jelly Stain is a versatile water-infused stain for the lips and cheek. Its jelly texture leaves you with a natural-looking flush of color or can be built up for a more intense look. Okay, listen y'all, this is what she looks like. all I did was swatch this shade, and it has not left my arm since. And I don't know if you can see that. Let me take a fucking picture for you. I'll just insert a picture right here. Okay? Okay. It's been days. And I know you're probably saying, but it's called a stain. And to that, I say, go fuck yourself. This shouldn't last this long. Do you imagine if I put this shit on my face? Are you fucking kidding me? This should be described as permanent fruit punch mouth, okay? Permanent fucking fruit punch mouth. And now it's living on my arm. We are now one. You may call us Belinda. No, maybe you're not so bad after all, Belinda. You're kind of cute, actually. What the fuck am I saying? Of course this looks bad. This looks really bad. Look at it. I look infected. So yeah, I'm making an executive decision. I'm ridding my house of this evil. I would throw it away, but we all know this would come back and haunt me. So I'm going to remove its head. If any horror movie has ever taught me anything, maybe that will work. But seriously though, no. But if you like that sort of thing, shit, it's available to purchase. Do you really want a fruit punch mouth stain all the time on your goddamn face? No, you're not 8, okay? You're not living carefree, bitch, all right? You're like me. You're tired, you're old, you have bills. We don't have time for fruit punch mouth. So this is a no. This is a no. But it's really cute packaging though, like really adorable. I almost kind of want to keep it for packaging purposes, but I know this will kill me in the middle of the night, so. Next product, A Nightmare on Elm Street Lip Shine Lacquer Set, retails for $35. The set includes 3 versatile shades of this new formula. Its creamy, comfortable texture delivers a highly pigmented, high shine finish. This set is fucking adorable. I have to say, like packaging wise, they really killed it. Like this is really cute. So in this collection, you do get 3 different shades. Only a Dream is a pink nude. And obviously this is my personal favorite. It's the basic bitch shade that rules all the land and it's what I have on my mouth currently. Then you have Elm Street. This is described as a crimson red, or otherwise known as Whore Red. This one is nice, but it kind of makes me a little self-conscious because I don't really do bold colors, but I don't hate it. I really do like the formula and it looks really cute. I think I would use it for like a picture, but I don't think I would actually like go out with it. And last but not least, we have Never Sleep Again, which is described as a deep red wine. And this is pretty much perfect for the holiday season that we're approaching, so I really like this one. I actually like KYLIE's lip products. I know, who the fuck am I? A bitch trying to hold on to her youth? That's who. But I'm happy to say that these products are incredibly hydrating, pigmented, and have a somewhat decent longevity for a gloss. The only downside to the product is that they tend to bleed in the outer corner. I feel like it's a little bit more forgivable for the lightest shade, Only a Dream, because it's pretty light, so like you don't really notice it too much. But with the darker shades, it's like you have Joker mouth, like, ooh, not good. That said, I really do love how incredibly shiny they are. And in addition to that, they are so incredibly pigmented that you don't really need to like keep building up the product. You might have to go in for 2 passes because around the inner part of the mouth, you do kind of get like that butthole look. So you just have to like make sure that looks a little bit even. But for the most part, like, everything adhered really good on the lips. I really liked the doe foot. I thought that was nice and comfortable. And I also like that I didn't smell any sort of fragrance with this product. So that's even better. So yeah, I'm not mad at it. I actually really, really like it. And I think I'm going to keep it in its box because the box is so fucking cute. You know, it's funny though. It's like when you look at the box and then you like look at the tubes, like really the packaging, they really, really did a good job on attention to detail. But then when you actually look at the colors, you're like, okay. The colors are probably colors that you already have, like at least 10 times over, but rest assured that the formula is pretty nice, but it's not my favorite. Like I like glosses that are not like super sticky, and this one does have a like a tack to it, so you kind of have to be careful for like hair flying into your fucking mouth. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I think out of everything in this collection, this is probably the one thing that I was like, you know, I am not upset for purchasing that. But when I compare this to her lip kits, I prefer her lip kits more. Right now it's currently out of stock, but if it does come back into stock, like, you know, I mean, like it's cool, but like, look in your collection, you have these colors already. All right, so with that said, let me know down below if you fell for this horror thirst trap like I did. Oh, just me? All right, makes sense. In any case, I saved you some money, so you're welcome. Now I want to hear from y'all. Let me know down below what has been your favorite Halloween collection. Also, just an FYI, I'm going to be doing a Fun Size Friday next week. And in that video, I'm going to be talking about Lunar Beauty, Game Beauty, as well as Sugar Drizzle. And I still actually have the whole Makeup Revolution collection, but I think that might be too much for one video. So I think I might actually make the Makeup Revolution one a separate video because I bought everything in that collection and there's a lot of pieces. So check out next next Friday for more Halloween indie goodness, and then on Halloween I'll talk about the Simpsons collection. So let me know down below what has been your favorite Halloween collection this year. And with that said, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. As always, feel free to like, comment, hit that subscribe button, it's free, and hit that bell icon for notification of all my future posts. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, to all my beautiful, wonderful patron bubbies. Thank you so much for keeping this delicious, disgusting, filthy, trashy, really filthy, really gross, really nasty garbage boat afloat. I couldn't do without you. I love you so much, and can't wait to see you in your dreams. Sorry now. I mean, unless you want that, like, I can arrange that. Just, that's all I'll say. If you want to know what's currently on my face along with where to get this sweater, probably the best part of this video, everything will be listed in the description box below. I'll see you little dream warriors later. Bye.